Hey, I'm Sabrina Carpenter from the new Netflix movie Work It, and I'm going to set the scene for where I was for some of the big moments in my life. The first time that I ever performed live in front of a crowd of people I didn't know, I was in kindergarten for my school talent show. I sang the song I Enjoy Being a Girl in a little white dress with like little gloves, and it was very dainty. I kind of continued to do the school talent show every year for the next couple of years, and so they called me the Little Singer Girl, which was a nice title. It's just something that I've wanted to do my entire life, and something at 5 years old that I felt comfortable doing. But yeah, that's where I got my start. I watched Liza Koshy interview just about everybody on the Met Gala red carpet because I watch those interviews every year, and I was like, oh, she's kind of funny. But then I met her in person during the table read for our Netflix film Work It, where we were playing best friends. That was kind of a really, really interesting day to just be like sat down next to someone that would eventually have to be someone that you just have to like and enjoy spending time with. We grew so close. It was like the summer camp of our dreams. And you know it's real because we're done filming the movie and I still talk to her. My first day of dance rehearsals for Work It was actually so sweet and intimate because me and Kenan Lonsdale, who plays Juilliard, were the first people to get to Toronto when we started shooting. But we never had a dance number together, unfortunately, so we were in separate rehearsals, but we both started on the same day, and I was super nervous and he was super nervous and we didn't know what to expect. For me specifically, it was like letting loose and finding my strengths, but it was also finding like the uncomfortable parts of myself and like the lack of rhythm that I needed to be able to find in order to play Quinn believably. So there was a lot of sweat and a lot of sweat for the first few weeks, actually for the duration of filming. Actually, I'm still sweating. I was in Montreal and I was on the set of another film and was called by my manager and was like, do you want to do Broadway? And I was like, wait, like trick question or like real? I'd always dreamed of doing Broadway my entire life, and he was like, yeah, I don't even know if it's something you'd be interested in right now, like I know you're really busy, you're doing this and that, and I was like, no, absolutely, like I want to do this. There was a whole process after that of getting to the place before I actually got on stage, which was one of the craziest nights of my life. I was just excited to be part of it and play the iconic Katie Heron. The VMAs were overall just such a cool experience for me because watching them and seeing iconic moments in history being made, so to be there for the first time was like very surreal. I'm not gonna lie, when I was there, I didn't really know I was there. I kind of was able to look back and be like, wow, I was there. And like SZA sat right behind me and I was just like trying to pretend that like I wasn't like freaking out, but then she said something about my hair and I was just like, okay, cool. Like it's so unnormal to me because I listen to so many of these people and watching them perform and like seeing Madonna just like in front of me. Like it's like not a normal Tuesday. I started posting covers on YouTube when I was 9 years old. Back in my hometown in Pennsylvania, there wasn't a whole lot of resources around as far as like professional recording studio equipment, but my dad managed to find like a little home studio not too far away from where I lived, and it was probably about a 30-minute drive. And so his name was Pete, and he owned the studio, and he had the cutest dogs, and it was the best. It was like legitimate. It wasn't like you found it on Craigslist and it was like suspicious. It was legit. But then I ended up filming a lot of my early covers there. Then once I came out to California and was kind of like in studios on a regular day basis, I felt very comfortable because I had already had a little bit of experience behind the microphone. That was Set the Scene. Now make sure to go watch Work It on Netflix.